Hey everybody, it's Shadowstar and Crystal here for another review of The Flash. This time it's episode 11, Dead or Alive.
No singing.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, it's all about HR, Cisco and all that good stuff.
And Gypsy.
Yeah, so it's a Cisco episode and a HR episode. You're going to be loving this. And honestly, it's a pretty good episode.
Yeah, it is.
So we get a lot of good HR moments, most of it which are, HR bonding with Cisco, which is great because, it's a parallel because, there's been a lot of, as Cisco pointed out, there's been a lot of Wells and Cisco stuff. So now you get to have it in a different way, which is great because, up until now, they've not really been friends. So it's great to have that moment.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Cisco has always had a close relationship with every Wells.
And I like the relationship he'll have with HR going forward, and this episode really sets that up. But obviously, as a cliffhanger had from last time, we get Gypsy, the person from the end of the episode, who's just like Cisco, except female and here to get HR. So, yeah, we got our villain for the episode, so that was fun. And yeah, we got a lot of fun, good moments, because that means we get a really good Cisco episode, because you think about it, although Cisco can use his powers, I don't think he's really used his powers except one point in the first episode of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now he's finally using his powers and actually doing stuff, which is great, because, yeah, like I said, he hasn't used his powers much, so, yeah, Season 3 is finally Cisco finally becoming a hero, finally, and this was Cisco's big episode in terms of that, which is great. I'm glad we finally got that, and it's great to see Gypsy here. It's not the last time we'll be seeing her either.
Yeah, of course.
We do have the side plot with Iris and Wally, which I'm kind of half and half on.
It's kind of annoying.
I'm kind of half and half on it. At one point, you're right, it is annoying. You've got the whole keeping secrets from Joe. You've got all that stupid stuff. And Iris is a complete moron at certain points.
She acts like she's invincible because she knows she's going to die later. But because you have that knowledge of the future, you are acting differently. Therefore, you could die now.
Exactly, but the one line I did like is a part where she mentioned she wants to be more than just a love interest, because that is the way I've always felt, is that, throughout this show, they do need to focus more on her being a reporter, and this is surprisingly one of the few episodes that actually does it, because there's so many episodes in the future where she just doesn't focus on being a reporter, and she's only known for being the person with Barry, and she just becomes annoying, so despite the fact that she's a complete moron in this episode, I'll still give it a tiny bit of credit for at least being focused on her reporter stuff.
The only good part was when she messed with Joe. At first, it sounded like she was saying, Barry and I want to add a third member to our household. Then she said, is Barry a cat or dog person? The answer is dog. Grant has dogs.
They also have a pet turtle. Did they forget about that? They got him at the last episode.
Well, they didn't seem all that interested. Maybe they adopted him out or gave him back to HR.
Sure, HR's got a turtle. Whatever, somebody's got a turtle. Anyway, but yeah, obviously, yeah, the Iris story was a dumb and annoying, although I did like one little bit, but obviously, the huge highlight, of course, has to be the Cisco and Gypsy fight scene. We get to see a good vibe versus vibe fight. Cisco's actually really good. We go to a bunch of Earths, like Earth 2.
And then we go to Cat Grant's office.
Then we go to Earth 38 just because, which I'm not complaining, it's great. And we even get a tiny cameo by Eve Tessmacher, so that's great. So, yeah, it's a tiny thing where, it doesn't amount to anything, but it's just fun to be there. It's like,
yeah.
You know what, screw it, just for the fun of it, let's do it, which is great. But it's also a case of, kind of like when we're talking about Prometheus breaking out Black Siren, it's a case of, it's never going to come up in Supergirl, but it would be funny to see.
Oh yeah, imagine just having a random scene, and then in the background you see Cat Grant's office and they just show up. Or imagine they walk into the office and there's a table broken.
Yeah, but it doesn't get mentioned, but it's a shame. But I still like that they do that, though. It also must be funny, behind the sets, because these shows do operate differently, so it must be funny to be like, hey, we need to use the Catco set for a minute. It's like, why? No reason. But yeah, that was a fun, and even aside from that, it was still a great fight scene. Cisco was really great, and Gypsy's really fun, so yeah, there was a lot of good stuff in this episode, honestly, and it was a little bit of Wally, but not too much. It was more a Cisco episode more than anything.
The only annoying part is how they handle time. Okay, so at the start,
Oh, yeah.
we stop criminals at night, then we act as if we've just gotten back to Star Labs, but it's daytime, and then later on, it's daytime when Gypsy says, do you want 24 hours to prepare, but then it's nighttime
When the
when
fight
it's been
happens.
24 hours.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't. That's weird. She said 24 hours and then it's nighttime. Like, guys, it's 24 hours. That's the easiest thing you have to do. You don't need to give us a clock. Just make sure it's still daytime the next time it's 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's not a huge complaint, but it's just a silly nitpick. But it's still annoying. It's still dumb, but it's not a huge complaint.
Yeah, I know. How do you mess that up?
Oh, some people are stupid. But all that aside, I'm still going to give it an 8.5.
Okay, 8.
Yeah, the Irish stuff brings it down a little bit. I'm half and half on the Irish stuff. Cisco was great, HR's great, the fight scene's great, so still one of the better episodes of this season. And, I've said, and it's one of the episodes where, for the most part, we take a step away from the Savitar stuff, which is great, because I'm kind of, as much as, not saying this season's storyline is awful, but I kind of like when they step away from some of the best episodes of the seasons are the ones that don't focus on the main story, and this was a good one for not doing that. Which is good, because especially after last episode was all about the Savitar storyline. So this one kind of took a break for it for the most part. It's still kind of in the background, but yeah. Anyway, next episode is called Untouchable. I remember what it is.
Okay.
But anyway...
Maybe it's more of Iris acting like she's invincible.
We'll have to find out what it refers to. I already know anyway, but we will see you next time for more Flash and other things as well. See you next time, guys.